All right, Chad Carney, aka the Bama Bigfoot, back with you. Thought I'd give you a wrap up of the KBF National Championship tournament. Just finished up last week up in Huntsville. It was fun. Let me show you what I got here. Hot dog, that's right. Top 100 finish. So I'm super excited about that. Next time you see me, probably hanging on the wall behind me. Gonna stick with my OG catch board. This is so nice. I just want to hang it out here. First trophy I've won since I was in high school, and I'm 50 years old. So pretty proud of that. So that's gonna hang on the wall back here. It's pretty sharp from catch. So gonna keep that hanging back here. Huntsville, we got space. They don't if you've been up there. I mean, they're pretty packed out, but that's another story. So made it to the KBF National Championship this year. Um, Qualified through the Challenge Series, the State Challenge Series. It was a long year, a lot of fishing. Probably fished more last year and this year than I've ever fished before. My goal was to make it to the national championship, and so I accomplished that goal. If you don't know, I'm an instructor at Gadsden State, a career coach, and all those things. And I tell my students you have to have goals, and so I had goals for myself this year, which was to get to the KBF National Championship and um, qualify to fish in that tournament. And then once I made it to that, I set some other goals. And so my first goal was not to get skunked. I didn't want to have any zeros on the board. Number two, I wanted to catch a limit every day. Number three, I wanted to finish in the top 50 overall. And number four, I wanted to just be competitive. And so I was able to do those things. Number one, I didn't get skunked any of the 4 days I fished. Number two, I caught a limit every day. Number three, was pretty competitive every day. Number four, I had a great time. Number five, there's so many great fishermen. I mean, just the numbers these guys, ladies and gentlemen, were putting on the board was something to just see. I mean, there were people putting 20, 21, 22 on the board all day. And I mean, you're putting 17, 18 on the board. It's just, I mean, those are great fish, and you take those fish all day. And matter of fact, I caught fish all day. It wasn't a day I wasn't catching fish, and there wasn't a day I didn't have great fish. It was just, I mean, um, just a lot of fish caught. I got stuck at 75 or 77 inches one day. Could not cull a 15-inch fish and was just stuck. Talked to another guy. He was stuck about the same thing. So there you go. So I did not pre-fish any waters because I had pre-fished just about every creek from Nickajack to Wheeler Dam over the past few months because I live close enough that I could go up on Fridays and Saturdays and scout out and fish and find boundaries and look for things, and kind of knew my way around, knew what I wanted to do, knew where I wanted to fish, knew how I wanted to fish, knew what I was going to throw, kind of knew where I wanted to go, and then depending on traffic in that area would depend on if I was going to fish it or not. And then depending on if we had to have a live meetup again at nights, also depended on where I might fish. So first things, hats off to Chad Hoover and the team there at Kayak Bass Fishing and KBF. What a great event. Everything was smooth. Thought everything was real crystal clear. I don't think anything was, I mean, I know there's a cheating story going around in another kayak bass fishing tournament series, but for us, you have to have a um, release video. So if there's any questions, you have to have a live release video, and that's going to show whether you're in a kayak or not. So obviously, that's another way to prevent yourself from cheating. Another one in Fishing Chaos I know that we had this time was location services are on, so that would prevent you from being able to be in a bass boat too, unless that kayak can run about 60 miles an hour. I don't think you're going to be able to run down the lake or creeks at that type of speed in a kayak anyway. And so that would hurt you too. So no check in, check out, because you can tell by your GPS whether you were on the water, what speeds you were going, those kind of things. So I think that kind of covers itself. And I mean, if you're going to cheat, I mean, what's the point? I mean, well, I don't understand why you would cheat. You just fish and have fun and be competitive. I mean, it's not life changing money, right? I mean, it's not like we're out here fishing for 10, 20 mil. We're just fishing for the competition, and I just can't understand somebody that would go to all those extremes to cheat when simply just fish. Especially on Lake Guntersville, there's a million fish. I mean, you could throw anything you want out there and catch fish. So there's that. So a great event, ran great. There was no way to cheat, so I wasn't concerned about that. I was more concerned about not getting whipped. Great people. Thought the people that I was competing against were fantastic. Everybody that I talked to was fantastic. People that I watch fish online and think are great fishermen, I had a chance to meet some of those, and those guys and gals are nice people and great people, and they're like me. I think they just love to fish and love to be competitive and love to be out on the water. So let's talk about what I threw and what I caught most of my fish on. This would be my number one fish catcher of the week. A Z-Man Chatterbait Evo. And I did look up the color to make sure I knew what color it was. It's called an electric shad. And this one is a 3/8 ounce. And that's about the only size I ever buy. And I like this one. It's got a little reflective on it. And I caught fish on this all weekend. This is, of course, a Yamamoto Zako swim bait trailer is what I put on here. I don't trim it. It just goes right on its full length. I trim my skirt just a little bit, but I keep it full length because I know the fish were eating, so I knew they were looking for bigger snack, and so there you go. This thing is probably, I don't know, that's probably 4 inches. And I caught about a 6-inch fish on this one time, which I did submit on Saturday for the KBF Open. So I thought that was funny, but I mean, most of it was in his mouth, and I was like, geez. So the trailer is a green pumpkin laminate, and this was my setup. And I mean, I threw this all day and caught fish all day long on this. Another thing that I threw and caught a ton of fish on was this spinnerbait right here. This is from Strike King. I picked this up about, usually I pick one up that's called, I think, Crypto, and it's real gold, and I always say gold gets the girls, but I had picked this one up because it was hanging next to it, and I liked the color of it. I couldn't tell you the color of it. But in my infinite wisdom, I kept the package, and so I was able to figure out what that color was and picked up on a couple more. But this little bait right here, little twin willow blade, has worked all year to pick up fish, and its technical color is spot remover. And this one is in a half ounce, and I like my spinnerbait in a half ounce, so then chunk it a country mile and work a ton and cover a ton of water, which is what I'm doing with the spinnerbait, and come across the top of that grass and kind of die it off and let it flutter off the one side. That's what I was doing. Same with this Evo chatterbait. I would throw it on the other side. So I found most of my fish in grass. And so I would just throw my chatterbait on the other side. I'd let it chatter down. Then I'd pop it up over the top of the grass and kind of let it chatter itself back down. And usually they'd come out on the other side of the grass and pick it up. Which is funny, when I read Jody Queen's post about the National Championship, it's kind of what he was doing, except he was catching better fish because he's probably a better fisherman than me. But, I mean, he had a top 10 finish, so he's definitely a better fisherman than me. But I like that we were having the same ideas. And that's a little tip, you know, always looking for things that these really high level guys and girls are doing to make sure you're kind of in the neighborhood of doing those same things. It's one of the ways you can figure out if you're doing things right. And then another, of course, always I threw this Yamamoto purple worm on the wacky rig. You know, with that little VMC in the middle, I throw all year long, catches fish all year long. You can pick apart. So here was what I found. And if you notice, mine looks a little fat down here at the end. We'll talk about that in a minute. But here's one of the things I found earlier in the year with Guntersville. So if I throw this and the water's dead calm, I wasn't getting a lot of bites. But if the water's moving, I get a lot of bites. So early in the morning on Guntersville, there was no water moving. It was dead calm. But a little breeze come through and the water start moving. You could pick this back up, throw it, and you start getting bites. So I was catching fish all day on that. So my little fatness down here, my little hump, okay, you can see there's a little indentation right there. That is what is called a rattlesnaker from Z-Man. It's a little glass rattler that you can stick in there. And so I picked that up at the beginning of the year and started using it on all of my, if I throw a wacky rig, I usually put it on the pointed end because it gets a little bit more action, because that's how it's designed. And so when it's falling, it does give a little glass rattle to it, and fish seem to pick it up a lot better. So there you go. It's how I caught my personal best this year. Accidentally caught my personal best, just messing around a couple weeks right before the national championship. Another way I caught fish was kind of in the same way, but on a bang stick. And this one is a black blue laminate. And I love a bang stick. But I like the one with the little tips on the end, little fringe. And then on this one, of course, I'll put the rattle back down here a little bit towards the pouch, and then I'll put it hook down here, maybe a 3/0. I like to go a little smaller, and then chunk it out there, gives you a little weight in there, and then it'll sink, but it stands up. And so when it stands up, because Z-Man floats, it will rattle a little bit. Fish pick it up. So that is what I threw this weekend. I did throw my, of course, chartreuse chatterbait, as always, and it was okay. Um, I caught some fish on it, but not as many as I would have liked. So there you go. So wacky rig. I caught most of those fish on my wacky rig. Any trees laying down, they were all laying out in the middle. If there was a jam across there, I would work that jam and catch a ton of fish. Things I should have done differently. Day one, pretty good with day one. Day two should have went to a different spot I had picked out, but those fish were biting day one in my spot that I really liked, but I should have went to a different spot. Maybe could have picked up some different fish. I should have went to a fluke on day two earlier. I think that would have helped when I went back and kind of thought through it. Day three, National Championship day. The weather was a little tricky that day, and I think that messed with a lot of people because the fish turned in that day was a lot different than the fish the previous 2 days. So I think that changed some of the bite. So I either should have changed places day two, and went back to this place on day one, or changed a whole another place on day three, but wasn't comfortable with that, or fished the same spot I fished on Saturday on Friday, and I don't know. So I should have changed places at some point in time earlier. Number two, I should have went to a fluke a little bit earlier. I think they were biting a fluke pretty good. Number three, I should have went to a football jig. I mean a heavy football jig, because a lot of them were real deep. I thought that they would have moved shallow or moved up in the creeks, but apparently I was wrong, and I think a lot of people were wrong. So I think I should have went a little bit heavy football jig, gone real deep, kind of drug that bottom, maybe a Carolina rig to see what would happen with that. So there you go. I did try some swim baits and such. Never really got a good bite. Um, of course, I have a live scope. Use the Eagle 9. But for me, I don't use the live scope to catch fish. I use the live scope to eliminate places where there are not fish. And that was pretty handy. I'm not going to lie to you. That was a very handy tool in my arsenal this year, and I was glad I had picked that up. Another mistake that took some time, I had stepped out of my yak onto a little island, needed to stretch and use the restroom. When I did, I stepped and flipped my yak, so I had to flip that all back over, had to get everything dry again. It took time. It was a stupidity mistake on my end, so a stupid mistake I made. Let's see, any other dumb mistakes? No, stayed dry, stayed warm. The weather was great. The food was great. Lawler's barbecue from Huntsville was great. Saturday night, we had a good time. My wife came up. She likes coming to the events, so that's always good. So, to wrap up, number one, safety is a big goal for KBF this year coming up. It's going to be a big thing front and center. No wear, no share. You got to wear that life jacket. We want to continue to be able to fish, continue to stay alive and come home. Number two, not a veteran, but I have friends that are veterans and fish, and so I love Chad's mission for those veterans and all those guys in our lives that keep us safe, have given their lives for this country, and who have given time of their lives for this country. And I have a friend, Kip, who has done that, and of course love him, and all that goes out. But this little sticker right here is for the Catch-22, and one of the things Chad did tell us was that I didn't know was that that's because that's about how many veterans are killing themselves on the regular, and so we need to work to focus against that and the things that we can do to help prevent veteran suicide. And I thought that was a great mission, really the heart of what the KBF is going to be about going forward. And so how could you not love to be a part of that kind of organization that's ahead of the curve on the cheating, wants to help veterans? Listen, I'll tell you a story, and then we'll wrap it up. Young man in the tournament, teenage. I mean, he's got to be 14 because he couldn't drive. Was hauling his kayak. Looked back, it's gone down the road, flying off. It's toasted, right? And so I was like, well, I've got another kayak at the house if he needs to borrow that, and then lo and behold, Chad Hoover lets him borrow a kayak, and lo and behold, a whole company has replaced his kayak for him, covered it, and and then at the door prize night for Saturday night, we're giving away prizes. People are just giving this kid their prizes. They're like, oh, you need this. Oh, you need that. Oh, you need this. Oh, you need that. Oh, yeah, I'll give it to the kid. Give it to the kid. I mean, what kind of community does that, right? Like, give it to the kid. That is a great community to be involved with. And so I just thought that was a great story. One kid, another teenage kid there fishing, he had his battery died out in Lake Gunnersville, and he was trying to get back in. Somebody had to tow him back in, so somebody won a huge Decodium lithium battery, and they just picked it up, went over, thank you, and then went over and just sat it down in front of him like, you need this, kid. Oh, what? I was like, geez, man, what a great community to be a part of, right? And those are the people you want to be around, and those are the people you want to hang with, and those are the people that you want to be more like. And so I'm proud to be a part of that organization. I'm proud to have fished in this national championship, proud to have hit my goals. So let's talk about the channel. I'm a terrible YouTuber. I figured that out, and I know why. It's because I get focused on the fishing and not focusing on the videoing. But we're going to work on that in the next year. I'm going to try to get better at both. I get focused on the fishing. It's what gets me jazzed up, and so I know I get focused on it. So I'm going to do better. Hopefully you'll subscribe. Hopefully you'll stick with me. I'll get better at it. I promise you. I think talking is going to help me. I don't usually talk to the camera, so I'm going to order me a mic, kind of talk to the camera. I think that'll help keep me focused on talking, filming, and fishing, because I can yap. Now, I'm a professional yapper, so I could do that. Okay, listen, I appreciate all your support, liking, subscribing, watching these videos. If you have any questions, you need anything from me, don't be afraid to reach out. It's a community. Thank you so much.